Hello everyone, this is Ashwin here. In this video we are going to see the introduction of arrays. So I am going to explain some of the properties of the array, and we also going to see what is the advantages and disadvantages of using the array with some applications. We are also going to see the visual structure, how is the array stored, and how we are going to retrieve the elements with some visualization. So let's dive into the video now. First, let's see the definition of what is array. So definition. So array is a collection of items that is stored at contiguous memory locations. So it can be stored in different locations. So the array location will be a contiguous collection of items stored at contiguous memory locations. And the second one is it can able to store multiple items of the same data type together. So usually in a single variable we can able to store only one value. Now we can able to use the same variable name for storing multiple elements of the same data type. It can be an integer, it can be a float, or it can be a character. So it can be anything, but it should be of same type. So store multiple items of the same type together. And the third one will be it has fixed size. So once you define the size of the array, you can't able to change it later. You have to delete the entire array and redefine it again. That's how array works. So we can able to store only a fixed number of elements in the array. So these are the definition, and we can also consider as properties of the array. So let's keep it here. Now we will see the array structure. So first I will show how the array can be initialized. So we will say int array of 5. So I'm just going for C++ or Java initialization. So this is how the array is gonna be initialized. So this is the data type. So this is the subscript. So using this subscript only we are going to access the values. We can able to directly access any value in the array. So subscript. So this number represents the size. So size of the array. And this is the name of the array. So you can also say it as variable name. Okay, so this is how we are going to initialize the array. Let's go for an example now. So I'll just create an array of 5 elements. Now let's consider the array as values like 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So these are considered as an array elements. So this is the array we have initialized here with some of the values. So to access the array elements we have to use the index. So array index will always start at 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So if you want to access the array element of 3 means you have to access using array of 2. Like that you can able to access it. So let's consider an example here. So I want to access the element 3. So 3. So if you want to access it means you can able to access like this. First the array name, and using the subscript you have to position the index. So the index position is 2. And be sure to remember the array always starts at 0. So this is called 0 index basing. And using this array of 2 you can able to get the value 3. So that is how it works. So apart from indexing, it will be stored in a contiguous memory locations. So that will be address, so let's consider the address starts at 100. So the address changes based on the data type. If it's a character means it will be incremented by 1, if it's integer means it will be incremented by 2, if it's float it will be incremented by 4. So this changes depends on the programming language. So for now I'm just going for one index basing for the memory address. So it starts at 100. If you want to go to the next memory location, so that will be 101, and the next will be 102, 103, 104. So we can able to access the memory location with the help of pointers. So the pointers will store the memory location and we can able to access the elements directly. So it also covers pointers. So pointers and all you will be learning in the programming language itself. So I'm not going to cover that here. So using the pointers you can able to directly access the memory location. So apart from these things, if you consider a physical memory, so I'll just draw a memory. So physical, so I'll just draw some memory here. I'll just draw it quickly, and this will keep on going, depends on your RAM. The physical memory we can able to consider it as RAM. So let's say if I want to store the array of elements like here. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I will just have another location also. So here the physical address can be anything. So I'll say 104. So the next address will be 105, or it may changes, depends on the data type. So I'll say 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So and the address keeps on going like this. So this is how the array stored in the physical memory. So this is the starting point, that is index 0, and the array name. So this array name will hold the address of 104. Using this address we can able to traverse. So if you increment this address by 1 means it will go to the next index. That's how we are going to traverse the array. And we can also access any element instantly using this base address. So this address is called base address. So here base address. So using this base address it can able to access the array elements. And as you can able to see, it's not storing the other values in anywhere. It is in a contiguous manner. So it's going like this. So here it is contiguous. So this is the visual representation of the physical array and the elements. So next we are going to see about the advantages and disadvantages of using the array. First let's see the advantages of the array. Advantages. So the first advantage is random access to elements. Random access to elements. So it can able to randomly access any element inside the array. So if you want to get the array element 4 means you can able to directly access using array of 3, that is using the index. So that is called the random access. You don't have to traverse every element in order to reach 4. And the second advantage is it can able to access the elements faster using the position. Position represents the index value. So faster access to elements by position. And the third one is it can able to represent multiple data items of same data type. So represents multiple data items of same type. So here I initialize the array with the integer data type. It can be any other data type like float, character, like that. It can be anything. And the last advantage is it has better cache locality. Cache locality. So these are the advantages of using the array. Now let's see the disadvantages of the array. Disadvantages. So it can't able to change the size once it's allocated. That is the major disadvantage. If you want to redefine the array means you have to delete it and redefine it again. So can't able to change size once it's allocated. And the second one will be the shifting operations will be too costly. Shifting operations are too costly. So the shifting operation can be considered as inserting, deleting, like that. It can be too costly. So let's say in this array, if you want to delete 3 means we'll be deleting this element and replacing this element with 4, and this element will be replaced by 5. Like that we have to keep on shifting the elements. Even for insertion, we have to redefine the array with additional space, and we have to copy all the elements from this array to the new array. Like that you have to do multiple shifting operations. That's why it's too costly. So these are the two main disadvantages. And lastly, we will see what are the applications that the arrays are used. So we have to know when can we use the array. So that is the main point of learning this data structure. So we have to know when we have to use this particular data type, and which is better or not. So applications. So the first application is it is used for CPU scheduling. Used for CPU scheduling. And the second one is it can be used to implement other data structures like stack, queue, heap, hash table, etc. So this is like a basic data structure that can be implemented to other data structure. So this is like a base type you have to learn before learning other data structure. So used to implement other data structure like stack, queue, heap, hash table, etc. And the third one is we can able to store multiple elements of same type. I'm just repeating this thing because it can be a property, it can be an advantage, and it is also an application. So this is just for the notes purpose. So stores multiple data elements of same type. So these are the applications of array. So I think that's pretty much it, guys. So all the factors are important, so be sure to remember this, and you can able to use it corresponding to the application. So this copy will be available in my GitHub repo. You can able to use this for the revision purpose. Apart from these theory topics, if you want to add more topics apart from this, please leave a comment below. I will make sure to add more topics in the upcoming videos. And that's it, guys. If you like this video, hit the like button, and don't forget to subscribe the channel and share the video to your friends if it is helpful. Stay tuned for the next video.